Sword of omens, give me sight beyond sight.
What up, yo, yo, yo? Magilla FPV here, bringing another episode of Goon Squad Presents Between Two Props. Tonight we are talking about the FAA and the NPRM rules that they're putting in front of us, and a couple ways you guys might be able to help, try to help you give some strategies. Plus, we're going to give you the insight. We're very fortunate tonight to have an actual commercial airline pilot with us who is also an FPV pilot, and we're going to share his story and his views on the entire situation, and we're incredibly honored and blessed to have him with us tonight. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I'm sure, as you guys have all heard, man, fucking congratulations to Westside, man. I mean, wow, right? That was just fucking killer. I wanted to give a possibly belated happy birthday shout out to El Bujo FPV from Project Zen. Besides that, the normal shout outs, we have BQE Multi-Rotors. Thank you, Bill, again, each and every time. FATSTRAPS, who is our sponsor tonight and has provided an amazing giveaway strap for some lucky winner to get tonight. Say Andrea, motherfucking Bot Grinder and Wombat FPV, Ready Made RC, the motherfucking UFDA crew, Project Zen, Rate My Rip and Joe Stan, Hot Dog FPV, FPV Builders, Quad Chat with Jake and Kat, Quad Mods, of course, Emu Flight, Kiss, Wolf, PDB, and Impulse RC, Old Gravy Leg, West Side, Advanced Power Drives, all the goons and goonies worldwide, and of course our families and you guys. And without y'all, we could not do this. Mad love to everybody. So with that, once again, we just, we want to say congrats, fucking Westside, man. You deserve that shit. You totally deserve that shit. You do mad good work, and you're constantly supporting others, and I couldn't think of somebody better to get that, win that. So that's dope. And with that, we're gonna drop one of your videos right quick, and then we're gonna move over to the chat.
What's up, you guys? Hope you're all doing well today. I'm over here just sitting in the office. It is a snowy day outside, so probably no filming today. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the community edit that I'm doing. I had the deadline set for January 21st, but I'm going to push it a little bit. I have a few other projects that came up that I need to get done before this, just so I can have as many possible pilots in this video as humanly possible, even if that takes me downloading videos from YouTube, with your consent, of course. So that being said, if you have a cool video on YouTube with some cool pilots, maybe a rampage, maybe at an FPV event, maybe not at an FPV event, maybe you just out and living life and enjoying it, I just want to cover all my bases. I want to have more footage than I will be using. A lot of you guys sent me amazing clips. I cannot wait to show you this project. It's coming out really nice. You're why this hobby is awesome. So I really appreciate each and every one of you. Also, if you haven't heard, UFDA crew is organizing a protest in Washington, D.C. at the FAA headquarters on February 29th, 2020. Right now they're taking donations. If you can't make it to Washington, D.C., that's probably going to end up being my situation. So I'll drop the donations link right there. We have a website set up. It's helpsaveourhobby.com. Make sure you head over there and check it out. We've been writing emails, working nonstop to help the hobby, and all of you continue flying and enjoying this amazing hobby. Hence why the website is saveourhobby.com. Spread the word, you guys. February 29th, Washington, D.C. at Hancock Park, FAA headquarters. Thanks for watching, you guys. Until next time, Westside out.
Fuck yeah. So once again, congrats to Westside, and thank you for everything you do. And with that, I'm going to bring you over to the Goons. What's up, y'all? How you doing tonight? Brad, thank you for joining us.
What up, people? What up? Thank y'all for coming out tonight. Man,
Pleasure to be here.
What a sick announcement video. Like, even his other edits are just insane.
Absolutely. And just
congrats again to Westside for that, man. Well deserved.
That link he spoke of is in the description, guys, in case you need it. It is, all the links are in the description tonight for everything we're discussing. So if you need to refer to something, you'll find it there.
February 29th. It's going to be a good day. I'm going to plan to be up in Washington.
Oh yeah.
Dope. I'm going to see what I can do to get up there. I would really love to be a part of that. I know Enoch and the guys over at UFDA have really put in a lot of hard work trying to get that together and get it set up. So if you guys, link in the description to the helpsavethehobby.com, if you can donate, help them get everything together, because that's what it's going to be going to. If you can't help out, if not, we understand, but if you can make it out, even better.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Halfway to the
there's
goal.
more than one way to help out with this situation. Obviously, you could, show up and help protest. You can donate. I know that there's been some pretty impressive donations to the cause already in that regards. And but of course, everything helps. The guys are going to be making signage, stickers, banner, all sorts of shit. They're making, I don't know if you caught their stream last night, you might know, but they're making picket signs. They're making stickers they're going to be giving out, and bringing a sound system apparently. So I mean, there's quite a bit of production going on.
Trying to arrange food trucks.
Yeah,
so
trying to
people
get a
can
hot dog
food,
truck,
man.
apparently.
They're doing it up and they're doing it right, man. Thank you to
Sammy's.
those guys over at the UFDA crew, always holding it down and helping us move forward, man.
Yeah, man.
They got some sponsors, and hopefully they can get some more sponsors. I'd like to see Flight Test, join up and bring in masses of people. We need 10,000,
that'd be huge.
good luck, but
Yeah,
but I'd like to see that.
that would be great. That would be
Enoch in the
great.
chat. What's up, my brother? How you doing tonight? Yes, sir. Being in
Enoch,
DC
my
is a
boy.
big deal, so everybody try to get down there. Most definitely.
Most definitely. And again, hit that link in the description. And like I said, post a donation if you can.
And try to RSVP so Enoch knows you're coming. Sorry.
Exactly. So as everybody knows, we've got the FAA NPRM coming up in March 2nd. I know the guys over at UFDA have tried to get them to push that date unsuccessfully. I know Enoch showed off a copy of his letter yesterday on the show. And so we've got some things to do. We need to be getting together and getting ready for commenting and making sure that we do that.
Absolutely.
And let, at least, if nothing else, if you can't do anything else, comment.
Absolutely.
At least let them know that how it's affecting you. Let them know what you're flying. Let them know why it's not going to work for you. But today we do have my boy B-Rad FPV in the house, professional commercial pilot, sick FPV pilot, always posting videos weekly.
Man, we're always playing his videos, yo.
Yeah, we are.
Thank you, gents. Appreciate
Sporting it. But Brad, if you can introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about
Sure.
yourself. And
Sure. All right. Well, thank you, Artie, and guys. I appreciate it. Being part of the Goon Squad is awesome. It's an awesome community where we get together, every weekend. It's another FPV adventure, and it looks like it's in trouble. Point blank, the NPRM is a direct attack to what I've been doing now for 3 years. I adore flying drones, for 3 minutes or however long that pack lasts. The world disappears. I don't think about politics. I don't think about my family. Sorry. It's just me in flight, and I can go anywhere. I'm like Superman. And
exactly.
It's something that, it hurts. This thing hurts. And I've got a unique perspective because, all right, so I work for a major airline in Atlanta. So you can figure that out. Fly 737s. Right now I'm a first officer, and in the upcoming month, I actually got a bid for either Seattle or Atlanta as captain. I started so I'll give you a little quick.
That's dope.
Yeah, it's cha-ching.
Yeah, buddy.
I put in my time. I put in my time.
So how long have you been flying?
Yeah, so I started in 1992 as a commercial pilot. So that's coming up on 30 years.
Damn, man.
And yeah, I'm a grandpa. I'm a grandpa in the FPV community, but that's okay. I can rip, and that's what it's all about. 92, exactly. I started. I worked for a regional airline. I don't know how if you guys know, but like like baseball. There's the major leagues and then there's the minor leagues. And so you got to go through the minor leagues. In fact, me and Stinger Swarm worked for the same airline. We missed each other. I was out by 01 and he got in maybe in 04. I don't remember his exact timeline, but so I worked for the regional airline, and then in 01 I got picked up by Delta, and been flying there ever since. So guys got any questions about, just that part of my history?
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me what got you into aviation and how you got kind of pointed in that direction as commercial flight.
Yeah, so actually I grew up in Washington, D.C., and there's an instrument approach system that comes right over the house I lived on and would land at National Airport. And I used to ride my bike down there, and I was just captured by flight. And growing up, I got into model rockets. I did flying like control line and the old little Cox motors with the glow beam. Yeah.
Control line, man.
I did the same shit.
Yeah. Yep. There was no radio control in the time. And then actually I moved to England and got my first gas-powered radio control car in England, and then came back to stateside. And in college, I started building the old balsa models. And 4 years later, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I just spent, I don't know, $3,000. That's in 1988 dollars. I'm like, screw that, man. So I could be a pilot. And I took, it turned out I was working for AT&T at the time, and they had an early retirement, and I took the money and invested it in me. And it's been a great decision. Working as it takes time. You have to work your way up. You fly a lot of crappy trips. You fly every weekend. You fly every holiday. You fly into the wee hours or the red eyes. But as you get more and more seniority, I work typically 12 to 15 days a month. And it is on the road away from family, but so it's a fabulous job, and it allows me to have a lot of free time in which FPV is taking over my life.
Yeah, no doubt. I think like most of us, it's most of our downtime is FPV time.
You could have worse hobbies. You could have worse things going on when you're not flying.
Oh, yeah, and more
Hookers
expensive. I mean, so it's it brings us up to the NPRM. Now, this has been in the discussion for 2 years. The NPRM is something that's not new. It's been known, and I think certain business owners have seen it coming, and they're doing pivots to position themselves for the future. I would like to hope that, and I'm going to reach out to everybody out there. Where's my finger? I got to figure out how to do this thing. This is my first live stream. You guys, all right? I need you to save Brad, all right? Because here's the deal. As a commercial pilot, I have to abide by the FAA's rules. I can't just overlook them. I got to fly within line of sight. I can't go and fly 3 miles out and publish it. It's important. So as such, if remote ID comes down the pipe, I'm going to be out of FRIA, stuck.
Right.
And I just won't be able to disregard the FAA's rules. So
yeah, nobody wants to be stuck at a FRIA. Let's be real.
And I don't think anybody wants to necessarily disregard everything either, but the compliance level is not going to be high the way it is.
No, well, the FAA hasn't enforced anything, and you look at some of the only time they enforced, of course, it was with Trappy, and it was over that he was actually flying commercial and getting compensated for his flight at UVA. They did cite, I think, careless and reckless, but so these are all things that I have to be alert to and make sure that I don't do it.
Right.
So it pretty much, remote ID might end my flying as I know it. And so I reach out to everybody on the stream. Also, the UFDA crew, flight test, all the influencers in our community. I implore you and beg you we have to get, we're running out of time. We've got to make our comments. I hope our comments are heard. Maybe we should just go through some just general, like, what is remote ID? Talk about the what's coming in this NPRM. Just in general, what do you guys think?
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea. I mean, tell us what you know about the NPRM. Basically, the FAA requiring us to use remote ID. There's two different kind of frameworks behind the remote ID, and kind of crappy things for hobbyists. Can you go into
Chad,
some
maybe throw up the graphic that you got real quick,
okay,
and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I mean, basically, remote ID is, I believe, the FAA, but also Homeland Security and law enforcement's way to stomp out a segment of the hobby flying, so that they can get a clear view of drones in their airspace and know, hey, this guy's at a FRIA, he's okay. This guy's over at a, he's got remote ID, he's okay. But look at these targets. What the hell are these targets? And, they want to be able to hone in on, I don't know, they really want to hone in on nefarious and potentially, I believe, terrorists. But
and I believe that is certainly a surface issue that they're using as part of that. But I mean, what keeps them from, once there is known traffic in the sky, they can see and pinpoint where it is? What's to keep them from either using that to surveil?
Well, that's,
or,
I was going to chime in.
Planning their own things in the sky, and that's not fair information to us. That's not something that's reported to us. I just wonder about that. I mean, there's some nefarious things that are
and also, like, talking about nefarious, like, just recently, like, okay, there's just this massive trend lately, and of course, okay, let's be real. There was, allegedly, and there's some documented footage of in war zones, the insurgents using weaponized aircraft.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. So yeah. Okay. And our policies in those countries and all those things aside, that's in a fucking war zone, right? But there's just been this insane trend in America lately where, like, with the gun rally in Virginia, whatever, a week ago or so, I was reading. I've been reading over the last couple of days, I keep seeing references to this fear of them using so gun owners now are also drone owners, or drone owners are now gun owners. I don't know, but somewhere in that, there's this now that they were fearful that the fucking, Second Amendment guys were going to be using weaponized drones. And I'm like, where the fuck is this coming from?
It's the same as the safety issues, man. This is all fucked up theory. Somebody's just coming up with situations in their brain. They're just paranoid.
It's fear mongering for sure. But
exactly.
Places like
show me the evidence.
Yeah.
Show me the science that shows that what we've been doing is unsafe. Show me the bodies. X-Jet said it best. Show me the bodies.
Well, not only have there been very, very few. Yes, there's been some idiots with fucking something they bought at Best Buy, flying out of control.
But show me the deaths. I mean, people stab themselves with pencils by accident more times than people get injured by drones.
But the reality is, we've been flying for years. Before drones, we were flying planes. We could have always been making weaponized aircraft for fucking ever since a remote control came out. We've had the ability to do it, and nobody's decided to do it. Now, all of a sudden, and it's like, okay, I get it. Okay, maybe Homeland Security should be worried about you preventing those insurgents from making it here and doing these types of things. I mean, obviously, they got a fucking airplane and crashed it into the World Trade Center. If they want to do something, they're going to do it, all right? But
that's my point.
Fucking part of that problem. And if anything, if I knew somebody was doing something fucked up with a drone and I knew that it was going to cause bodily harm, I would send my shit after them and take them down. Like, I wouldn't even hesitate. You know what I mean? So, like, I almost feel like it's like people having the right to bear arms. We should have the right to fucking fly, because if something does go down, we could do something about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. We definitely should. It's our airspace.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's our airspace, not the FAA's airspace, even though
not
they
commercial,
think it is.
not for business, not for any of those things. Nor does anybody want those kinds of things, crowding their airspace. We don't want Amazon and FedEx and UPS in the air right over our houses doing who knows what, that crazy Amazon like swarm blimp.
Coming
over our neighborhood.
That thing is crazy.
Yeah,
that thing is nuts.
I've said it too, man. Like, think about the people. Like, okay, some of us are fortunate. We live in quiet neighborhoods, and some of us might actually, kind of shatter that peace every now and then by ripping a drone in our backyard, whatever. But the bottom line is that you don't have 20 fucking drones flying over your house every single day. But that is what they're effectively talking about. So, aside from a couple kids flying their drone in the backyard and an occasional guy ripping down the street or whatever, fucking around, it's nothing. That's a drop in the bucket, and it's never at weird times. And now,
but the difference is your neighbor can walk outside and say, "Hey, stop doing that."
True. If he has a problem with it, yeah,
they can't go to Amazon, go out the door and say, "Hey, stop."
Yeah. And I mean, and that's the thing. But we're talking again, again, we're not buzzing through everybody's fucking hood, generally speaking, and this is what they're talking about, though. They're talking about, imagine if every fucking merchant, Amazon, UPS, FedEx, Domino's Pizza, whatever, has a fucking drone flying around. Now, say there's 24 of them. Now you have 24 drones in your airspace every single fucking day making deliveries in your neighborhood. You know what I mean? Or it could be way more than that. Just think about it. It depends on how far it goes. Like if there's 100 fucking, retailers, now you have 100 drones flying around. And then they're talking about doing fucking sky taxis and shit. Believe me, I always thought some of these ideas were cool, but some of it, I'm just like, yo, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're prepared for this shit one bit.
No, they're not prepared. And the UTM is going to take years and years. But I think, what they talked about is not using RF technologies like ADS-B. By the way, that's something that's in my cockpit. And they're not, because it's going to overwhelm that system. They're actually, they're looking at 3 to 4 times more drones in the air than civil aircraft, and commercial aircraft. So it's definitely the future's the Jetsons. But the question is what's bringing on the NPRM? And I think it's twofold. It's commercial interest,
right?
But it's also the fear of nefarious and terrorist attack.
I think that's a ruse, though. I think that's for the public.
It's a ruse as well. I think it's fear mongering. I think it's a ruse. I think it's like a false flag.
It's true, but there have been like meetings. I know that in New York City they had they've actually they're prepared for this. They expect it to happen. So I don't know, like you look at the Colorado, maybe that's part of this false flag and fear mongering. And they're clearly, I agree there could be fear mongering, but how easy it is. You can do an autonomous drone. You can buy the stuff from China, put it together yourself, and fairly easily equip it to do mass destruction. And
sure, but you can also do that with a paper airplane. I can also take a pencil and stab the kid beside me, and every kid I can in my arm's reach.
But hey,
I don't have a remote ID on every pencil.
But where are they going to get the C4? Okay, that's my question. Like, okay, so now you've built your drone, but I don't have access to C4. Who the fuck?
You and I don't.
Right.
But some guy from maybe overseas who's very funded.
I'm not arguing that can't happen. I'm simply saying that the fact is that hasn't happened. And in any other case, like a fucking stop sign, there's generally 3 to 5 deaths before they put up a stoplight.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there are no deaths that I'm aware of that I can find related to drones in the U.S. And yet we are essentially killing off business, killing off learning,
education, all sorts of shit. I mean, let's be real though. Okay, yes, if somebody puts their mind to doing harm to people, they're gonna fucking do it. And the reality is, we have one of the most massive and strong military forces on the fucking universe's scene. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the U.S. fucking Air Force and blah, blah, blah. And a couple dudes hopped on an airplane and drove them into buildings, and the Air Force didn't do shit. Okay, so let's just put that out there. You know what I mean? So what the fuck are you going to do? If they put fucking C4 on a remote control car, you're going to fucking start remote control cars now? Because you could do the same exact shit. You could go buy toys on Amazon that you could program a path and fucking have it carry a bomb.
Listen.
Dude, get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's insanity. I'm sorry.
Well, no, but the rules they're bringing on us is insanity. It's just like gun control. It really is. You know, go ahead, Artie.
It's just overreach. It's just way too heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, again, look at all the things that you're taking away. Like I've got 2 7-year-old kids that are ready and want to get into flying, and it's like I'm hesitant to get them super interested into something that they may not have in a couple years.
You may not be able to see it through. Yeah. What if they become super awesome at it and they're like the next fucking Vanover or whatever? And you know what I mean? Like, dude, you're killing so much potential there. Or the next fucking aero fucking space scientist that sends fucking people to Jupiter. You know what I mean? Because they learned how to fly drones, they got interested in aerospace, and then they designed a rocket ship that carried us away.
Well, think about this. People who have multiple DUIs, they have a blower on their car to start it every time. But guess who doesn't know where that fucking alcohol breathalyzer is? The police, the government. Nobody can track you and say, oh, this guy's got one of these.
Absolutely.
Let's go fuck with him.
Well,
essentially, you're just putting markers on everybody that fly commercially or, anything over 250 grams right now, which they could change at any point.
I mean, the reality is it's been the wild, wild west. Okay. And I get that. And I get that there's been a couple of potential accidents, and thankfully
self-governing when everybody's doing it in relative safety is not a bad thing.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. We can police our own.
Our government can't control the things it's already supposed to be controlling well. It doesn't do well.
It's going to fuck this up.
So why do we want to give them more responsibility?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And they can't control the things they're supposed to be, and they want to keep on taking and overreaching, and this is something they don't even know what they're talking about. That's what's crazy. You're the fucking FAA. You're supposed to know about these things, and you don't understand our hobby at all.
Well, no, they've neglected us. We just don't even exist.
Yeah.
No.
It's a different perspective. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, when they're getting all this outreach, which they've gotten some, I mean, not nearly enough, but they should at least rethink it once there's a whole industry created around these things. Maybe we should take a second look at this and say, be civil,
And that's what the comments are for. And I encourage everybody to comment. I don't know if you guys saw the extension got rejected.
Yes.
So about 6 major companies and organizations suggested that they extend the comment period. And yesterday it was rejected, but it was the language in which it was rejected, which is really concerning.
Yeah,
it just was flat out.
Nope.
It was flat out in the interest of safety and security. It was more like, national security. Oh my God, we have to have these rules for, save our planet.
Yes.
I mean, it's out of control.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And they're making fucking kids with fucking in their backyards criminals. Like, it's insanity.
They're making schools criminals.
Dude, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, and I think like coming back to
still no assessment,
the roots of it. Yeah, there's no fucking actual risk assessments that I've seen. There's no case. There's no track record of fucking accidents happening. There's no track record in America of people using weaponized drones at all. Period. It's just because you did it in a war zone and you experienced it in a war zone. Like, maybe you should. I don't know. Stop fucking making terrorists, bro. Like, stop creating terrorists, and you wouldn't have this problem.
Fear-mongering.
People 3D print
so they can
guns.
Absolutely fucking literally.
Yet
nothing there is. Do about that.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's no regulation going on to that. Because again, let's be honest, man. This is about money. This isn't This isn't about anything else. It's either positioning somebody to make a shit. Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
But they're positioning themselves so they can be on top of whatever wave comes their way. I mean, and it's tragic, which is why we all got to stand up and fucking say something. Otherwise, I'm tired of hearing all these motherfuckers out there talking about, oh, we'll just fly anyway. Well,
yeah, I know.
That's a defeatist fucking attitude. And maybe you should just stand up and get in the fight instead of just sitting on the couch waiting.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there.
I'm
man.
Listen to Artie.
Yeah.
Because I'm done, guys. I need someone to save B-Rad so I can rip with you mothers and we'll just have a good time.
I've worked a long time to be legal. And I'm getting closer and closer with marijuana laws, and then that's it.
Right.
And now you want to propose some new shit to fuck me up?
Yeah,
thanks, guys.
Right. And I mean, like again,
I just got into this hobby.
Think about the fact that they're clearing the airspace. Excuse me. And I saw an article from it was about 2 years ago, whatever. They were voting to be able to use military drones over U.S. airspace, and I think that's really what this is starting to boil down to. It's not only just. And I hate to say it, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy crazy, but them being able to put drones up, everybody else putting drones, all these commercial things in the air are going to have fucking cameras on them. They're going to be able to leverage facial recognition. It's going to be insanity. You know what I mean? And they're ultimately clearing the space for that and cutting us out of that equation so we can't do anything about it. And that's fucking scary.
Well, we can do it. We can go to our FRIA. You guys read 1985 by Orwell? You guys remember double speak? FRIA is double speak, man. I have never heard such bullshit. Like it's free. FRIA. Oh man.
FRIA.
Well, I mean, the killer that, I mean, let's just be real. If they made an honest effort to make, government fund some flying fields and building obstacles and things like that, sort of like what they did in the mid 90s with skateboarding.
Yeah.
So even if they were offering that, but no, they're saying, okay, you got a year to create one. And after that, never again.
And
create a new one.
Every fucking 48 months, you have to make sure you renew in time or they fucking shut you down. So it's like, it's not only that you have to jump through the first hoop, you have to jump through the second hoop. And then additionally to that, if the city comes along and says, we're going to fucking eminent domain this park and use it for a fucking parking lot, you're fucked. And now you don't have a spot. And it's gone. It's gone. And they have no provision. They have no provision for fucking adding them back in, which again is insanity. And the fact of the matter is, I think people need to be considering. It's like, as you said, like we own the airspace above us. So if you own property, you should be able to at least a couple 100 feet should be fucking yours. And actually, there was a ruling in like the 30s that said up to 200 feet was yours. That's your property. You could do whatever the fuck you want on it. And so where's that going? What's the they're stepping on things that have been established, and it's like,
well, I mean, say I own 10 acres out in the in the country, I should be able to fly my drones on my own property all day long. And to say I can't, I see that as a. Go ahead, Artie.
Yeah, I was just saying, be able to do that without fear of imprisonment or prosecution.
$20,000 fine, dude. It's like most of somebody's fucking income or whatever, a third of somebody's income for the year. Like, are you fucking crazy?
I mean, that's my airspace, and I think that's a civil liberty. I mean, I should be able to, you could shoot your gun on your 10 acres, but you can't fly that little toy drone. It's insanity.
They're coming for your fucking tiny roots,
at the Amazon drone on your on your lands.
And that's the thing is they leave it open to sub 250 to change that at any point. So we may be safe for a little bit, but until they figure out a way to use a micro drone to do anything outside of filming something.
And I mean, I think
there we go.
I think we should really rapidly try to summarize the basics of. I put this still up earlier, but we should just run through the IDs and then let's talk about what they're actually saying.
Okay,
you got it, Brad. I mean, can you lead that?
Yeah, right, sure. Cool. Let's do it, man.
I'm gonna bring up the slide again. And, as you can see, there's 3 ways of remotely identifying, right?
So, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, what I was talking about in the beginning here, even though we went off on the nefarious thing, but basically remote ID is electronic license plate in the sky. The FAA wants to be able to identify all drones that are flying in the national airspace. The whole idea of this is in the future that the UTM will allow the commercial drones to have navigable airways. They can all talk to each other and avoid each other and collisions avoidance and fly beyond visual line of sight. As you guys know already, there's going to be 3 different categories of how to comply with this new ruling. And I guess from a hobbyist standpoint, we'll start with the hobby. The hobby, if you make your own drone, you are stuck in a AMA type field, the grass field, probably an AMA based or other community based organization like Flight Test. And you're going to be limited to flying your drone there. And the whole thing about the NPRM is about creating planned obsolescence. It's designed to kill the hobby. And from everything I read, it's we need to get rid of this hobby to clear the way for the future of commercial airspace and commerce in the air. So that's us. We're on the right-hand side there. If everyone's looking at that, that's the FRIAs. You've got a 400-foot ceiling, which we already have, and a laterally 400 feet. I guess for some people that might be enough. I know that, the people flying the turbine aircraft, they need more airspace, and they're working with the FAA for that. Be interested to see if they get any waivers of that. The soaring, for the guys who soar, they need more airspace. So this thing's really limited, and from the FPV standpoint, there's nothing there. I mean, shoot me now if I have to go fly around in a blank field.
Yeah, big open field.
Yeah, I mean, how many Vanny rolls can I do, right?
Amen to that, brother.
All right, so I mean, the first level here, if you don't know, is the standard remote ID, right? So you've got your drone's got to broadcast, and you have to broadcast the pilot itself, right? And that's publicly available information, and it's available to law enforcement and whatever other body wants to be nosy, I guess, right? So.
Absolutely. I mean, the whole idea there is you're going to be able to, grab your cell phone and hold it up. Ooh, look, money. Hold it up to the sky, and you're going to be able to go, okay, yeah, that guy, he's right over there, on this, and locate Brad flying. Hopefully, I'm going to be flying legally. I have to be.
Yeah.
So that way requires two broadcasts at the same time, right? Your phone's got to be going and the drone's got to be going.
That's
and
correct.
You have to have that connection the whole time, otherwise you're not complying.
Right. So that obviously has its own built-in challenges in certain regards. Like I don't see. They don't even know what transponder they're using. Correct, in the aircraft, they don't have that figured out.
Oh yeah, no,
they haven't figured any of that out.
I forget the term. I was looking at the FAA site earlier today, but so once this gets put in place, there'll be all these companies creating the technology, and it's really interesting. The FAA says we're not paying for any of it. You guys create it, and we may adopt it or not adopt it. That could delay all this even further. But yeah, standard remote identification is going to require this remote ID USS. If people haven't heard about that, I think it's listed there, but it's hard to see. A USS is it's like Verizon essentially. I think that's one of the companies is a Verizon company, and they're going to get all this telemetry data because they want to know that you're not going over 400 feet. They're going to want to know that you're staying within your bounds, certainly in the limited remote ID zone. But it's insanity. So it's going to be broadcasting. They don't know how to do it, and it's also going to have a connection to the internet.
Right. And
that's the standard. Go ahead.
And then I mean, there's a challenge, of course. Most of our devices run on Wi-Fi bands, and then they want to potentially put some sort of Wi-Fi band on the actual aircraft. So that's potentially problematic because the quad has to be communicating with your phone apparently at the same time while this is occurring in example number 1 here, in standard remote ID. So I don't see how that's even technically very feasible, to be honest.
Well, certainly not with the 2.4 and 5.8 spectrums. I suspect they didn't even, clear this with the FCC. The FCC is going to go, what?
Right.
You're going to put these things in the air, and now they're going to be broadcasting
Shit everywhere.
it'll be, they'll like have complete line of sight to everything.
Right.
It's probably not well thought out, and that's maybe a good thing. That may delay and create more headaches for this thing if it does go through. Delay. That's going to be my motto. That's standard. The limited
so the
remote
limited,
identification.
The limited. So the limited.
So basically,
go ahead. Sorry.
Good. No, that's all right, man. It's basically doesn't have the broadcast. It has everything in the standard, but it doesn't have the broadcast. And because of that, it's now going to lock you down to the 400-foot ceiling and then a 400-foot range. And what's really strange about that graphic is it shows it as a semi-sphere over the operator. So that means at 400 feet on the far extent, you can only be like an inch
off
in the
ground,
air.
right? Yeah, because that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
right.
Whereas if you look at like the FRIA, it's a cylinder.
It's a cylinder.
Now that's much more reasonable. So I'm if this thing goes through and they're able to miniaturize the remote ID and make it just a module. I mean, they have to be able to keep the home built. What do they call it?
The DIY.
They have a term for it.
The FAA's term.
It's like
built or amateur built.
Amateur built.
Amateur, that's the word. Yeah, amateur built. I'm hoping that survives and that they come up with it's a module that you just we just powered off of the thing. It's locked down. It has firmware that we're unable to get into, and the little thing is fairly cheap as shit and talks to our phone. And I don't know. I'm thinking if this does happen, that's the best thing I could hope for.
Word. And then, and then obviously we've touched on the FRIAs. Now, the question is if the FRIA is, I don't know, what if the FRIA is actually, for whatever reason, say in New York, our AMA field's larger than 400 feet. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing. So, I mean, I suppose if somebody bought up 10 acres of land and registered it as a FRIA, or you know what I mean, you could potentially
it has to be a community organization.
It has to be a community.
It does.
And they haven't even released the actual requirements for that, as I understand it.
No, and nobody's been authorized to be one yet. Our local field, which is for me a 40-minute drive to the nearest AMA field. 40-minute drive. And this is something that, when you guys make comments, we need to put this thing in dollar, this thing's going to cost all this money. I have to drive there. But that field has a 600 or 800 foot runway. I mean, so right there, the runway is bigger than the airspace. Now the 400 feet is from the operator. So if you stand in the middle of the runway, you've got 400 feet to the right, 400 feet to the left, 400 feet in front and 400 in back. So you really have 800 feet the way I read it, even though that picture doesn't look that way.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't.
No, but I think it says from the operator in any direction, no more than 400 feet.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't know how you leverage that, like you said, on the diagonal, like, if you're out 400 feet and you climb in altitude, then but you're still not 400 feet away, quote unquote. I mean, how are you supposed to be doing geometry in the middle of flying, dude? You know what I mean? It's insane.
Well, yeah, but these things are that's the other thing. They're gonna geofence. This will all be geofenced, and when you take off, it won't take off if you're not in, if there's a TFR, just like all the DJI equipment right now.
Right.
But I could see that it's going to enforce whatever that middle one was, the limited remote identification. It's going to enforce the airspace.
Well, the limited is only from your cell phone, as I understand it, and not from
that's right with the internet. Yeah, with the internet connection.
So your cell phone has to be in the area, and they're going to somehow. But so how's that supposed to talk to the quad in that case? If you don't, because in that example, So that's actually a really good question. So in that example, you have your cell phone that you're supposed to check in and get clearance for or whatever, but your quad isn't required to have a transponder, right? So how the fuck is the quad going to know what your phone's thinking if it doesn't have some sort of device in it, right? That doesn't really make sense to me.
Yeah,
right?
well,
So
the
let's
broadcast.
look at the slide again, right?
Yeah,
it's the pilot, right, to the internet. There's no communication from the pilot to the drone outside of control at that point. So that doesn't even make fucking sense.
No, the drone is sending.
Well, agreed, but you know,
the drone is sending telemetry over Wi-Fi as it's proposed right now, back to your phone.
In remote ID, the second example, the limited, it's supposed to still be sending telemetry.
Yeah, and 2 telemetries. Your location, and this is we haven't even talked about serial numbers yet.
Yeah.
But your aircrafts can be serialized. You're going to be serialized, and
might as well just get my tattoo on my fucking
forearm
right now.
Right?
It's like Auschwitz and shit. Yo, I got my fucking numbers. Sorry, it's probably not a good joke, but I mean, it's actually, think about it. I mean, you're getting serialized. All your craft are
it's so those are the 3 different airspaces. Let's talk about when this thing's going to take effect, right? So they're talking about a phased approach up to 3 years, because the tech doesn't exist. So they're having to figure this out. But we're looking at 3 years from when the NPRM, after all the review process happens, before they say that, that all of it would be enforced. That brings up a good
Brad,
question. Yeah. What do you got, buddy?
Redbeard in the chat asked, where could you go to protest this? On February 29th, the UFDA crews put together a protest in front of the FAA headquarters. Get there in DC. You can go to helpsavethehobby.com.
Link in the description.
It'll give you all the information and some talking points and some other information that you need for that. So make sure you check that out.
Here, I'll do a screen cap. So this is the website, guys. There's links on the website to get you to where you need to make comments to the FAA. There's links regarding the protest and the location of that, timing information, all that, and it'll be continually updated over the next month as we approach.
Yep, it's I plan to be there. It means a lot to me, and Charles, if you are still hearing this, reach out to me. I might have a way to get you up there, if you can get the time off.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna do whatever I can to get up there, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same. I'll take the train down, or maybe somebody will be rolling by that I know that it's coming from somewhere else. I might be able to swing through and grab me up. I don't know. I'm hoping
we ought to do a fucking live stream from that shit.
Dude, right?
Ooh. Yeah. We got to get the bandwidth, man. Maybe we should go to.
I've been looking at some very interesting solutions in that regard, actually. So yeah, that's something to consider.
Maybe one of these.
If we're gonna have power, though, we can set up a rig. We could totally set up a rig. If Enoch's got power, if we have a Jenny, then we could do it. Totally. I have enough shit. I can bring cameras and shit.
We can rent a Jenny.
We could rent a Jenny.
A few of them.
Stream that shit. And actually, speaking of that, all right, not necessarily the streaming side of it, but guys, I mean, everyone, and I don't know that enough people are necessarily doing this, but I mean, fucking try to talk to your local news. Try to make them aware. Fucking send them an email, send them some links and say, hey guys, this is happening. We're all really concerned, and I'd love to, just get it out there. Try to see if you can get them to bite and pick up the story and say something
about
education. Educate them, yes. And everybody should be, not only should be, commenting at the FAA and fucking, contacting your congressman, you should be contacting the fucking news, because there's, short of the propaganda that's being put out there, we have no voice in the fucking media. And I think that we need to try to work on that in the next fucking 30 days, especially leading up to the protest. The more news groups that we can make aware of what UFDA is putting together, the better, and the more likelihood we can get some fucking national fucking attention.
Some coverage,
Get some coverage. Exactly.
And we've talked about it. We need influencers and people in, hell, like YouTube. We're in this YouTube community also. All it takes is one giant guy, like what's the guy up in New York, flies drones, but you know, he's got 11 million subs. He reaches out
Casey
to his
Neistat.
subs. Yeah, Casey Neistat, regardless of the person. But if we got the right people spreading the word, a lot could get done.
So I was going to say something. I wanted to say something. Sorry. So we just saying, like, do we think we can beat Amazon? And it's like, well, you know, the reality is, it's like, if people actually knew what Amazon was going to do, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Fucking maybe.
Public awareness.
Well, that's what we don't know. We don't know the private interest involved and what their plans are for that and how they've been, you know, what information they've been providing to the regulators to push that forward.
Look at the console that's come up with this harebrained shit. I mean, look at the names. It's publicly available. It's all over. You can find the names of the people. And it's all Amazon military contractors. It's insane. There's nobody, like, there's like the one guy from the AMA and I think, you know, the Freedom Coalition might have been there, but it's like there's fucking everything else is corporate and military interest. It's frightening.
Yeah. Big business. And it is frightening. So let's talk about, you know, our hobby. Basically, the bottom line is if you build your own equipment, you're going to be destined to fly to FRIA. The only way that you can fly, and we haven't really talked about that, is that the equipment has to be completely FAA approved and substantially made by an FAA vendor, approved vendor. So, you know, what we do with the FPV and certainly with freestyle, I just don't see. I don't see anyone in the near term being able to build a quad that's going to perform the way we want it to perform, and also comply with this regulation. It's poor Brad.
Or Brad.
So
help save us.
I want to segue for a second, guys, and talk about a couple things. First of all, I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek of our next giveaway, and that is this. Stay fucking tuned for motherfucking
BQE.io
details. We are going to be sending out this Stormer. It's looking like 2 weeks from tonight we will be doing the giveaway for the Stormer.
Check out those glow-in-the-dark gimbal guards.
Those are glow-in-the-dark gimbal guards I made a while back for this package. Bill and I have been working on this for a while. Really excited to be able to do this, and thank you so much. BQE.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, man. Fucking thank you so much. So, guys, stay fucking tuned for this one, dude. We're going to start dropping details out tomorrow on Facebook. We'll probably drop some quick little video rolls on our respective YouTubes, and details are coming in very soon.
And those are all your prints, Chad?
Negative. Sorry, I'm going to bring it back up. Not all my prints. That's my GoPro mount, but I don't remember. Yeah, I think I printed that one. And I did the gimbal guards, and everything else is stock BQE factory TPU.
Well, it's looking great.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna really score with that.
Fuck yeah, dude! I don't know. If you don't fly BQE, you're missing out. You should really try a frame. I mean, Bill's got some amazing designs, and I've been a long time supporter, and he's a dear friend, and he supports us. He supports the community highly, so definitely peep it out. And somebody's
big shout out to BQE and Bill. First up.
Someone's gonna take it home 2 weeks from tonight. Somebody's gonna take that shit home. What do we got there? What do you got, Vince?
Just the same frame you're giving away, just in.
Oh, you got a Stormer?
The superior color of yellow.
The superior color.
So yeah, BQE. Fuck yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. Well, why don't we, while we're on the business of giveaway, why don't we?
Should we get that together? All right. So we're gonna start doing
I will send you the list right now.
All right. Is there any last minute entries in the chat that we're not aware of? You got everybody so far, right?
Come on, chatters.
If you spoke in chat, I put you into this.
Lucky you guys
have spoken in chat. I can guarantee your name is on this list.
Okay, so fucking the man like Vicious Vice has fucking done that. And is this from my start? The whole thing here, Vice? Let's see.
So the top, I added a couple of the top is anybody who joined before the chat, and then the line is after people joined.
Okay, I got it. All right. So
And I did
give
my
us a
best
moment,
to
guys,
take
to
away
import
names,
everybody's
like-
names. We'll get this roll here going in a second. Da, 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 da. So Brad, while we're doing
I'll
this,
laugh
Yeah,
if
man.
Where do
Fly
you-
New
Yeah.
York City wins since
Where-
he's a line of sight guy.
where do you reside? Where do you call home? Tell us about where you're flying now.
Sweet, man. Yep. Treasure Coast in Florida, and just recently joined the Goon Squad. Thanks to
Yeah, boy.
a lot of people came together for that to happen. So I'm on the coast, and I go up to Melbourne, where Red 5 is, and Bald Man, and then a little further up, we go up to north of Orlando, and there's spots up there, and rip with a whole bunch of guys up there, and down in Lake Wales area where Jay
Still wearing fucking
resides.
shorts down there.
Oh hell yeah!
Asshole.
Yeah.
All right, so we got
Flip flops and shorts, baby. Oh my god.
Shorts,
I think I just caught your old man ball.
Hopefully,
Nah, I don't think
noticed the
so.
Butterfly T-shirt too.
hopefully I.
Yeah, Beta Flight. Yeah, I got. Sorry,
Oh, that was
Rough
just,
and, don't be sorry.
don't be sorry. Fucking.
but
All right.
yeah, it's anyhow. It's a great bunch of people down here. The weather's fantastic for the most part. We can fly, almost every single day, and
Amen.
definitely-
And fuck you all at the same time.
yeah. Well, but the key here is let's talk about Goon Squad for a sec. And I'll tell you, I would not have been flying on all these FPV adventures if it wasn't for the Goon Squad. It's how I met up with Sean Creepin,
Right.
and he invited me out to to hit some of the office parks, and so then I'm flying with those guys, and then I'm headed down to Lake Wales, and soon I'll go over to Tampa and fly with Edwin.
Sick.
And guys over there.
Hit that
so,
fucking tower, dude. That thing is so sick.
yeah.
And this school, whatever school or office place they were at recently.
Yeah, and there's that
Like a
crazy
skater's dream too.
Yeah. So we do the best we can. It's really weird. There's the guys to the south. There's nothing down in Palm Beach area that I know of. Don't know why. Maybe it's too close to the TFR.
Something.
Yeah, it was,
Something's going on there. But
Okay.
I mean, with your job, you got kind of a unique thing where you go a lot of different places. I mean, that's how I met you originally. You were up in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
met up with
Yeah,
you
so
at an office space.
Yeah, which I really appreciate, because the local Atlanta guys, they don't know me. And so there I was all alone with my gear, and being a pilot, I have to have a spotter. I can't have something go wrong, my quad go out of control and take out a granny, little kid, it'd probably end my career. So
Yeah,
man, no, we don't want that, but you stepped up, and it was great. But being a pilot, I have this jump seat capability. I can get on any flight, anywhere, anytime, across the globe, international flights. I just walk up, show them my badge, my passport, and as long as there's no other pilot on the airplane, I can get a ride. If there's a seat in the back, I get to fly in the back, and I don't pay anything.
It's pretty nice.
And it's so. Yeah, so I've been lucky. I've flown in, I've been out to California, did the Rockahula, went out to the Vegas thing, flew out the Red Rocks in Vegas, and met up with guys there. I've been to Seattle and flown. Went to Kansas City. They have this cool. It's called the Workhouse. It's a abandoned prison from turn of the century. Flew there, went up to Rochester, met up with the Rochester guys, and flew this abandoned incinerator. And hey, I know that video up there. I don't know if that's mine, but it looks good. It is mine.
All
yeah.
right, so
it is for sure.
Word, let's get through this. I want to get to this thing, and then we can keep going, and then we'll probably maybe drop a couple videos, and then we'll call it for the night. So, number one, guys, so this is what we're actually about to give away. I'm sure as many of you know, we're giving away this lovely fat straps that Steve donated tonight. Just wanted to show you one last time. It's beautiful skull print. So with that, hopefully this thing works good. And let me take it full screen. All right, so everybody's names are on here. I don't know how to set this thing for any kind of time.
Drum roll.
Oh, my mouse is disappearing. Why is my mouse? Oh, there it is. Okay. It's on the wrong TV. All right, guys. So here we go. Big moment. Big moment. Our first giveaway. Whoop, whoop. Special thank you, Steve and FATSTRAPS. We can't thank you enough. Steve has been a massive Goon Squad supporter from day one. He's fucking
I don't
awesome.
have my strap.
Yeah,
I have one of his
from
straps.
him, man.
Yeah, no, I have one. It's solid.
I need to get one. I don't have one.
So somebody's gonna get this, and then yeah, we'll get it shipped out. So whoever wins, hit me up in the chat, and we'll get your details and get this out to you. So here we go, first giveaway. Hopefully this fucking thing works. Fuck it, I don't have to ship it. So our winner
He just got his
is
fat strap.
fucking Kaio Flips, and he just got a fat strap. So maybe he'll. Where's he at?
Woo!
All right, I'm gonna
He
save
just got
this.
a custom. He just got his custom fat strap.
Oh my god.
Dope, man.
All right, well we're gonna leave that.
Yeah, it was rigged.
It was rigged. Oh my god.
Rigged.
I don't know. Maybe he'll want to give it away. So we'll talk to him, and if he wants to give it away, we'll fucking give it away. Otherwise,
Throw it back on there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he'll enjoy it, man. That's a dope
yo,
strap.
text his ass. Somebody tell him no.
He was in here.
Is he
He
still
was
here?
just in.
Yeah, he's in chat. Yeah, he was in chat.
Oh my god.
I'm
Nice.
sure it'll catch up and he'll see it because
Oh
there
my
is like a
God. All right,
slight
so,
delay. So.
Well, there you go. There's our winner for tonight, Kaio. And
He says you can roll again.
he said to roll again.
He says you can roll again.
All
Yeah.
right.
Damn.
So,
brother.
There we go.
All right.
Damn.
That's his
This is why I love this community,
Good
man.
motherfucking squad right there. Hell yeah. We're gonna do that again. All right, let's do this. So
Yeah, he's rolling again.
I want to get one of those. I want to get one of those better wheel pickers, but this is our
Hey,
first.
we got to send Kaya
this is our
some
first
something else.
Fucking
some stickers or
giveaway.
some
Let me
shit.
take him off there. Let's see. Where was he? Let's see. I can't find him. He was here early, right? Where was he? Oh, I removed
right
him.
there in the. Oh, you had.
Oh,
him.
I had it? Hold on. Where? Oh, there it is.
Right in the middle.
Let me take that off there. This is our first giveaway, guys. Give us a little, cut us a little slack. Here we go. Here's
All right.
another one. Let's see who gets it. Sebastian Rudbach. I hope we're pronouncing your name right.
That's
Sebastian,
one
you
of
in the chat?
That's one of the Facebook people, I believe.
Okay. All right. Let's take it.
Dope.
Damn, man.
Facebook.
All right,
Well, shout out to
congratulations.
Sebastian.
All right.
Congratulations.
We'll get a hold of Sebastian and let him know if he's not here. Let me just take a picture.
You got a PM Chad.
Yeah, I'll PM him. I'll reach out. You think it's a Facebook guy?
Yeah,
No, I
because
don't
this is
know.
from the beginning of your list.
Okay, yeah, that's a Facebook guy. Okay, all right, sick. Okay, cool.
Cool.
Well, congratulations, Sebastian. You are now the owner of a fine new fat strap. Congratulations.
Dope. Congrats,
So,
brother.
whoop, whoop.
Winner of the first Between
first-
Two Props giveaway.
Yeah, the first 2020 giveaway. And again,
Nice.
coming up, let me just bounce back to this really quick. Coming up in 2 weeks, guys, the opportunity to win this badass BQE frame and some custom glow-in-the-dark Goon Squad gimbal guards. So pay attention, keep up to date with us, hit that sub button, smash those likes, make sure you keep up to date, and we will get you those details right away. All right, shameless plugs.
Awesome.
Shameless plugs. Okay, all right, we're done. So
It's our shit.
That's it's our shit. We're gonna shamelessly plug,
plug
this
this
shit.
shit,
We're gonna plug the fuck
everything.
out of it. We're gonna plug the absolute fuck out of everything. Actually, here we go. It's for Bill. Oh, can I do it? Hold on a second. Fuck.
Come on.
I'm gonna fuck it up.
That was a
It
fail.
was a fail. Here we go. One more time. All right, cool. So yeah, man, BQE, thank you. Thanks again for that. We can't wait to do that giveaway. I'm hyped. I can't wait to see
And
what.
Steve, thanks Steve from FATSTRAPS.
Dude,
man.
yes,
Good
thank
job.
you.
That's
I don't
awesome, man.
have his logo handy. I'm an idiot. Actually, you know what? I'll make that happen while we finish talking.
Yeah, Steve, it was a fail on Chad's part.
Totally
told
my
him to
fail.
have
I
it.
gave it. I put it everywhere else. Here, hold on a second.
It's on the thumbnail.
It is on the thumbnail. It's on all my.
It's on the
It was
thumbnail.
everywhere else. I'm failing though. Oh my God. Let me turn
Hey,
that
Chad.
off.
So Kaio is requesting that he get some gimbal guards. You think you can print him some up?
For that crazy ass radio he's got, well, he'll have to bring it over so I can take some measurements.
There you go, Kaio.
Let me just do something really quick. I'm full screen here. I don't know
What
where
crazy ass radio does he have?
what is
kind of
he have?
radio you
What do
got,
you got,
Kyle
Kyle?
Flips?
Tell us what it is. It's like a
it a horse or
futaba.
something?
He's got like a
the-
futaba or
The
something.
futaba. Yeah. This fancy futaba.
What, that T18 SG? Ooh, makes
This
my nipples
one?
hard.
Here, I'm gonna do this really
12K?
quick.
$800.
Something like that.
Can I do this one in the
upgraded from the
background?
X-Lite.
Oh, there we go. I can take everybody full screen while I find this file. Yeah, dude. We'll have to get some measurements. He's got a little project going on with that thing. Actually, he did a modified
T12K.
crossfire mount on it that I printed for him that turned out pretty good. But we're gonna change it around because he wants to put the Wi-Fi module back into the equation. So that'd be pretty sick. Oh, here we go.
Nice.
Here we go. Fast straps. Let me switch that out. There we go. Not a total fail. Not a total fail. Fucking thank you, Steve. Hell yeah, dude. So
Looking good.
looking good.
There we go.
So all right, now we just smashed all our momentum. What were we talking about?
You know, we haven't talked about the comments and the
Yeah,
importance
definitely.
of getting these comments out. The key here, guys, is that there's a lot of good talking points that are already up on the interwebs, and one of them, and we can have some links to them, I think, right, Chad?
Yeah, if you put him,
But,
if you put him in the chat, Vince can put him in the chat for us while we're going.
Yeah, I can put them in.
Yeah. What about the ones from the meeting room? Is that something that people can publicly see, or is it just for?
Well, most
the
of those
members?
links are public, so you could just copy it and then post the link.
Okay, because I think the one the UFDA crew is using is the one that Tim developed, and it's a good list. A lot of good talking points there. I'm working on a list too that I'll put up and get you a link.
That
I'll
put it in the
well,
description.
But we
my-
have basic.
Go ahead, bud. Basically, I just
No,
wanted
we-
to ask you, what do you think are the key points that people need to include, and how do you think that they should go about that, and what points they should include in their thing?
Yeah, well,
And
of course.
should they copy and paste?
No. In fact,
anything?
it needs to. I think you need to talk about your story. I need to talk about my story.
Yeah.
That model aviation is what put me in the cockpit of a 737. I don't know if you guys know too that there's a huge pilot shortage pending right now, and this is just going to stifle. It's going to stifle innovation. It's going to stifle STEM initiatives, education. Like you were talking about your kids. It's super duper important. So those things are important to get in there. The monetary aspects of how you have to have an AMA. You're going to have licensing. You're going to have to travel far distances. They're talking about $5 for every single drone or aircraft you have. All for the registration. It's going to add up to hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and many people just won't be able to do it, and they'll fade from the industry. Of course, there's the huge loss of business. All the little mom and pop hobby shops will be gone. Some of the bigger ones who pivot, like one in particular who's pivoting, maybe they'll survive, maybe not. I don't know, but the list goes on of the things, and we've heard from Josh Bixler. He's got great. He's just got a great presence, but he should be our leader. I hope he steps up. Hopefully, he'll hear about this our stream here, and we need some. Good.
I was going to say, I'm just chime in really quick. I think that everyone, I hate to say this, but everybody should be blowing up Bixler with the links to the UFDA protest. Okay. A couple of us has tried to reach out and I was talking with somebody last night about it last night. And the reality is Bixler probably gets inundated with emails. He can't get to everything. He gets inundated with messaging, whatever. Unfortunately, if we really want him to let us, if we really want him to take notice, we probably have to blast him a little bit. So I kind of recommend everybody blast him with the UFDA protest, and make sure somebody get confirmation that he says, "Oh shit, okay," like, you know, "Oh, I didn't know about
what's cool?
this," you know, whatever, you know.
I am going to be within 30 minutes of him next week or the week after, and plan to rent a car. One of my layovers is in Akron, and
Nice.
and their place is just down the street. I'm pulling it up now. There will still be time for me to get there and actually physically go over to their, you know.
Dude, fucking do it. Go tell him, dude. Like, physically go tell him, look, we're trying to get a hold of you about this shit. We need your help.
Yeah. Oh, it's a bummer, guys. It's the 24th. So that's kind of sucks. I'll be there all day on the 25th, which is a Tuesday of February.
Hey,
and the comments end the end of the week, but that's still before the 29th.
Yeah.
But
yeah, and
I definitely.
I was gonna say, I've linked his video, his how to comment video, and basically I linked their description in our description, just as far as, you know, what they're saying right now.
I think you take their comments about us being completely, they just don't even know we exist, and therefore they didn't put any provisions for us. Now, maybe that's by purpose. Maybe they do know we exist, and they don't want us in the airspace.
Right.
But you know, so you got him, and you got XJet, and his comments are
blow up XJet, man. I mean, I hate to say that. I know he's been having some challenges with some family health things, and
his daughter,
and
his
our
health,
heart goes out to him,
yeah.
So so with that one, I kind of like maybe lightly blow him up.
Bruce. Well, I've been reaching out to all these guys
like once a week for the last.
Likewise. And emails. He wants them by email. He put it in his. So I went and sent him an email about a week ago, and you know, it's crickets. But we really have to get the influencers, the people with the reach, to use their YouTube reach to get people to come to show up, say, to the 29th.
Right.
It's going to be important.
Yeah, I mean, I've been starting to sit down and start crafting my response as well. Kind of hoping some, you know, I don't know, something would come to light that would help. But you know, I just got to sit down and do my own.
It's not coming. We have to be the light.
Yeah, that is the thing, and that's what I'm saying. I really feel like we need to get some kind of press going somehow now.
Yeah,
you know, and let you know. I think the more press that we let go now about the protests, you know, specifically, and get them pique their interest, you know, then maybe we can start getting some stories out there. I know Westside was doing his Faces video, and that's going to be dope, but I think he's extended that till towards the end of February, so I'm not sure if that will be done in time, you know, and I don't want to put pressure on him for that. But in terms of like getting us saying things about it, maybe we make videos and we blast them on news channels. I don't know, you know. But I think that raising awareness now is clutch.
Yeah, I've talked about how we, you know, in a way we kind of turn the tables. We need to tell the public about the impending drone, invasion. It's what it is. It's going to be an invasion. These things too, you get a hailstorm, they're going to be falling out of the sky. You get a lightning storm. They talk about safety with us. You know, let me talk about that real quick, because we're talking about how this affects me as a pilot. When I go out and fly, the last thing I think about is manned aviation. I think about the kids in the park. I think about hitting a car, smashing a house, breaking a window at a office park. These are the things that worry me. Manned aviation is absolutely the farthest thing from my mind. If I'm over 50 feet above an obstacle, I'm doing it wrong.
Right.
Exactly. You blew out that power loop.
Yeah, I mean, maybe for an inverted yaw spin, from 400, it looks cool. But other than that, so we are so not a threat to manned aviation, our particular community. And it's just it's shameful.
The model plane guys aren't doing shit. And then, to touch on the fact that, again, and I don't want to, I think like everybody's been kind of regurgitating a lot of the same points on a lot of the shows, but let's be real about.
It's important though. I mean,
it's
this isn't something that we can just sit by and let fucking happen again.
Of course,
because that already happened last year or the year before when they changed the. It was like
registration
when they got whatever it was.
336.
But I mean,
336.
You got to bear in mind that again, ultralight guys and those types of gliders and things of that nature, you don't need those. They don't have fucking transponders. You know what I mean? So like, what the fuck?
And again, it's about identifying the pilot. They want, because if you put yourself in an ultralight and you crash, you're the one who dies.
Yeah.
So you have the risk, but what we don't really have a lot of, they're saying we don't have risks and we're careless and reckless. I just read their opening statement on their website.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Show us.
Show me the evidence. It's not that I didn't look, that's possible. Sure. People do stupid shit. I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying, show me the numbers that show that we are the problem, that what we're doing is dangerous.
Yeah. And that's Bruce Simpson's point.
There's no
and I agree 100%.
There's no risk assessment has been done. There's no clear cases of our hobby doing much of anything at all, except the one bridge.
Well,
the
part of the
bridge video, whatever that made
in Canada.
But other than that, dude, I mean, and that's like okay, and then the community kind of got on that. You know what I mean? And like, look, all right,
self-policing. Yeah, absolutely.
And I've said it before. Like as a ham op, I have FCC licensing, and ham operators police their own, and we haven't taken over the airwaves, and then coming back to the ultralight statement though, again, if there's this fear, this big fear mongering thing that's going on, it's like, okay, you're afraid of people doing things. There's nothing to stop somebody from flying an ultralight over something and fucking dropping a bomb out of it, dude. There's nothing that's going to stop these people. Nothing.
Terrorists have used like 18-wheelers to drive right into groups of people.
Sure.
And that's a terrorist attack. But no, they're not going to put remote ID and tracking on every vehicle because commerce is too much of a big deal. We are an expendable, tiny little portion. Somebody said, the AMA says we're $1 billion industry. Okay, maybe. But we're expendable. And that's exactly what's going on here.
That's funny. We post to YouTube and Instagram. We narc on ourselves for likes. Lol. Killer bee.
Yeah.
Narc on ourselves.
There's a certain amount of truth to
100% true.
Yeah, fucking
100% true.
And I guess because earlier I was like, it's been a little bit of the wild west in certain regards, and okay, I'm a responsible guy. I actually got my fucking ham license and all that shit. Plus, I thought I might build some kind of crazy VTX and I might need power for, but whatever. Having said that, it's like, oh shit, I'm totally losing my train of thought. Fucking,
That's all right, man. One of the points I wanted to make that Bruce made is when you rule make, part of the framework that you have to use to create rules is to have sound science that's backed and that's peer reviewed, showing evidence of the safety concerns and issues. Where is that?
Yeah, no doubt. And actually what I was going to say to finish my statement too is like, the reality is I have Crossfire. I could put a transponder on it. I don't have any problem with that. There are technologies that can identify. If it really comes down to it, I can put a transponder on my quad. I don't have any problem with that. Just leave me the fuck alone otherwise. If you're worried about my quad, okay. You know what I mean? But let me fucking be free in peace, and I will stay the fuck out of your way. All right? Let's talk
about Lance.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Lance. All right. I've been using Lance for at least 6 to 8 months because as a 107, it lets me operate in controlled airspace. And there's a lot of good structures and buildings in controlled airspace.
Now, is that Air Maps?
Yeah, I've been using Air Maps and there's another one too. But it's so simple. And you just say, I'm going to be here. You draw with your finger a little rectangle. You say, I'm going to fly to 150 feet.
Yep.
And I mean, it can be like they've got all the Class B airspace. Those are where the major airports are. But they quadrant them out, and they say, okay, you can fly up to 400 feet, and you get automatic authorization to 400 feet. So I because I'm a pilot, I have to abide. So when I'm flying at an office park that's near an airport, I check. I make sure it's in there, and then I use this air map. But it's self-policing. It's saying, "Hey, I'm here, and I'm responsible, and I've got." I hate to say it, I got IDs on all my quads. Sure. They have the same ID, but it's it's legit ID.
I have a license. And, I have my ID.
And for me, that's a reasonable regulation, right? I can go onto air maps, say blah blah blah. I'm here. I'm going to fly at this height. Boom.
Yeah, done.
You're there. I mean. Done. Stinger Swarm did a video last year, early last year, on that, going out to a spot that's kind of close to an airport in Atlanta, and did that very same thing. And it was easy. He did it on the spot. I don't understand why that couldn't be used, globally with everybody as opposed to just Part 107.
Yeah, and having Lance, and then things like FLARM or some sort of transponder. These are solutions that already exist in our world, in our hobby. Okay, that like all these things already exist. Crossfire has its link and whatever. You can use it for fucking mission planners, shit like that. You can transmit your location, whatever. But having said that, it's like, dude, what do we really need? If you really want to transponder crowd, great. If you really want us to check in on Lance if we're in a spot, great. Okay, that's easy. That exists. That's not a burden that's going to shut down multiple businesses and ruin educational programs.
And it makes me think that, like, DJI as an example, they've got the tech might already be mostly in their equipment, and all they have to do is turn this stuff on. But it looks like these rules are really aimed at eliminating, the hobbyist, because it's overburdensome, that it's just flat out too much. No, people aren't going to pay for it, and they're not going to comply. And we haven't talked about non-compliance, but until the FAA actually starts enforcing, and there's jail time and and huge fines, people are going to just do whatever they've been doing. And but the key is I implore all those people who, are just laughing sort of at the whole thing, going, please, for BRAD's sake, let's send in a comment. You can cut and paste there are all these talking points. Cut and paste them at the least. It takes 5 minutes, less than that, and let's be heard.
Exactly. Well, not to break the subject, but some hotness that Vice just shared. Real Steady Go now supports Hero Black.
8.
The Hero
8. Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Has anybody done that?
No.
On Shendrone's Instagram.
I need to check that out because some of the dev team from Emu Flight was working with the Real Steady guys, working on incorporating gyro information. So I don't know if that's part this or if this is slightly. I have to get caught up to speed personally about that, but I'll let you know what I come up with. But if you weren't aware, the Emu devs and the Real Steady guys were working together, and they're looking at some different ways of integrating gyro information into Real Steady. And so I'm not sure if any of that creeped into this current release or not, but that would be dope if it did, because the stuff they were talking about was really stellar. You'd be able to take gyro info off your quad and help use it as stabilization information. Apparently, I don't know. It's something. It's pretty dope what they're talking about. But anyway, that's dope.
Hey, one other thing, Wheats, man, talking about how do you think being heard will overturn what the federal government wants to do? Last he checked, this is America. Hey, look, man, I can always hope for the positive, right? That doesn't mean everybody should sit down and just let it fucking happen.
No.
I mean, if somebody's coming to rape you in the ass, you can either just lay down and take it like a bitch.
Right.
Or you can fucking fight back. I choose to fight back. You may like it in the ass. Just not my
Just hope they provide KY.
Dude, they're not though. They're
maybe
not
a reach,
providing
maybe
any
a reach
fucking
around.
KY. They're fucking everybody in the ass.
U.S. government doesn't give the reach around.
They're
that's
fucking
for sure.
up small 107 companies like where Old Gravy Leg works. 107 because one of the things we didn't touch on is so much is that they want to have commercial. You have to buy these approved craft pieces and craft from approved manufacturing, and there is no retrofitting. There's zero retrofitting in this case. So everyone's fleet, every aerial photography company that exists today will have to buy a new fleet. When you're talking about like fucking big aircraft that cost 20 grand,
$10,000 drones.
yeah, you got $10,000
worthless.
to $20,000 airframes. You're fucked. If you got like a fucking dozen of them, you're actually a big production house. You got a lot invested, you know. And for the smaller companies doing this, they're fucked. The guys that were running, you might have 1 or 2 big airframes and then a bunch of fucking Inspires, but they're getting work and they're getting paid and they have a business and they got people to support that work for them. They're fucked. They're fucked. And that's something that needs that the news, we need to get to the news. These types of facts, man, the more information we can get out there sooner, the better. Because if we, like Artie said, if we just stand back and take it in the ass, we're not the only ones getting fucked. It's not just FPV, it's fucking a multitude of fucking organizations and businesses. And we need to work together. And the dirigible list. But, you know, that's scary shit, dude. I know that if I was going to get my 107, and actually to Brad's point, I was ready to go take the test. I was talking to another 107. He's like, you still want to fucking, you know, fuck around and fly crazy? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, then don't get it right now. Wait till you're ready to settle down. And I'm like, and we talked through it. And
Who's going to settle down?
well, you know, it's one of those things, though. It's like, for me, it's like, if I had the right job, if I had the right offer as a commercial pilot, then yeah, okay. You know, I'd be a fool not to take up on it. And then I would have to, you know, like Brad, I would have to get a spotter. But anyways, you know, look at my background. This is New York City,
spot for you anytime,
you know, in a
buddy.
construction site. There was, you know, I didn't go above it and I wasn't flying over anybody, you know. Having said that, like, you know, some people might frown upon that. So I just didn't want to get my 107. And thank God I didn't start a fucking company. Because I know that for me, if I would have started a fucking 107 company 3 or 4 years ago and this comes down, I would be fucked. I'd be out of business and I'd be starting all over again. And that's insanity.
And, you know, it's going to weed out the small 107s, all the little guys doing, you know, taking pictures of houses, you know, real estate, things like that.
Killing the
But
industry.
But at the same time, I know
they
I've
may
got a
want
good friend
that.
of mine. I've got a good friend in Atlanta that does inspection for insurance companies. He's $1 million plus company, and he does a lot of business. But even he is worried about the cost of doing that
Hiring new
business
fleet.
because, from his understanding, it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah, initially
to
it will
comply.
be. Yeah, initially, till, you know, because the chipsets and the miniaturization and all that, and creating the boards, you know, it's going to take a long time for that to actually shrink down and get mass produced to the point where it's affordable for us.
Dude, yeah, you know, and I think that one thing that this hobby really needs right now is some community leaders, and you know, and I was really hoping we would see that from Bixler as one option. But the reality is that, you know, unfortunately, some of the people that are, you know, saying they're, and I don't really want to touch on this much at all. I'm a kid gloves right now. Unfortunately, there's a lot of division in this community right now, and there's a lot of concern about people's motives and potentials of conflicts of interest, and that fucking sucks. But it is the reality. So what I personally think, and this is what I expressed to the UFDA crew, I'm like, you guys are in a unique position. You have no commercial interest. You have no fucking, you know, there's no fucking conflict of interest. You know, you're not a business. You're a fucking group of you're a part of a community that just is a group of guys that love what we do. And I think that's a unique spot for them to be in. I think we should rally behind them because that eliminates that. And I told him, I was like, get everybody with you. You know, I want to get Tim from Ready Meat hopefully to help. I want to get, you know, Bixler to help. I want to get as many people to help support them as possible. Because if nothing else, one thing I think we can agree on is there's no conflict of interest to be concerned about. So, you know, and unfortunately with some of the other groups, that isn't an issue. And so it's dividing our community, and that's fucking hurting us. I just got to be honest. It's hurting us. It sucks. But the reality is it is what it is, and we need to find an alternative way to push our agenda. And so with that, I would say, you know, until, you know, and, you know, for now, not even for now, but fucking support UFDA. Let's hope we can get Bixler and people like that on board. If Bixler wants to step in and help, and
or even the AMA. I mean,
Yeah.
hey, I'll stand with my fixed wing brothers. You know, of course, there's animosity towards the drone guys who are ending the whole hobby. Come with us. We'll go stand there with you. Let's go together because we need to be unified. For
we
this.
should definitely be blasting the UFDA protest to the AMA. I don't know if anybody's mentioned that, but we should be like, if you have a look, I'm a local chapter member. I'm going to blast it to my chapter head, and hopefully, you know, he can help get that out there to the local AMA community here in New York City, in Queens. If you're part of the AMA and you have a local chapter, fucking talk to your chapter head. Make sure they're aware of this protest. Make sure they're aware of what's going on. Get it out there. Get it out there to everyone, and try to get the fixed wing guys with us. I mean, the reality is, it affects us all.
I have no problem going with them because they're bigger than us. There's more people, I think, in the fixed wing community than the FPV community. And, you know, but many of them are, you know, I'm not going to say. They're older than me. How about that? I don't know they're going to go.
Fuck yeah, Zoe, dude. Yeah, well, Zoe's already supporting it. She's part of UFTA, so that's pretty amazing to have her on there. And we need more, you know,
So thank you for being a part of it. We appreciate your contribution for sure.
Fuck yeah.
Yep.
And I think the reality is we need more influencers to join together, you know, that don't have this conflict of interest problem. And even the ones that do. Like, I honestly I feel like if we can get a strong enough
I don't think it matters
together,
at this point.
Well, it doesn't really, right? But what I'm saying is if you get the core movement established without those concerns that are apparently in our fucking community right now, if you get 75% of the community together, then whatever the fuck the guys or whatever that, you know, get their support too. But like, and that's great that they are being supportive or whatever, you know what I mean? But don't worry about it. Get everyone else for now, if nothing else, you know, and rally together.
Well,
but it's
go ahead. Well, I'm just saying that what we need to do is work on getting the most information out to the most amount of people, just to spread the word as much as we can. More useful information, the better.
It astounds me, though, why we're not seeing these influencers. Even they should be talking to each other and working together. They have a lot more reach than, you know, let me refresh this, but I thought I saw 26 at the peak. That's just, we're not getting the reach we need. And, you know, hopefully people will hear this and it will spread like that stupid commercial. But these influencers need to step up, and I'm not seeing it. I'm wondering if they've got, some of them ulterior motives, but I'm wondering if, you know, they're running businesses and they're just busy and they're trying to keep their business alive and trying to figure out how they fit into this new world.
Sure. And I mean,
I've spoken to a couple of pretty influential FPV guys, and they just don't want to say anything, which is disheartening. From the few that I've talked to.
There was one.
Go ahead.
One in particular from Atlanta, and he had a one-line comment for the NPRM. And, you know, this is somebody who's got 200, maybe 300,000 subs. I'm like, that's it? You know, so.
Yeah, no, I feel the same ways. As far as that goes, you know, I'm sure people have their reasons, but it just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
And there are some, and I think some influencers are not just in FPV as well. I mean, they're just flight influencers in general, you know, and they have massive followings. So don't count them out. I mean, the reality is that, again, we got to use what we got. Like, I think Enoch, and like to Artie's point earlier, man, we can either sit and take it up the ass or we can go down fighting. No matter what happens, at least we can walk away and say we actually fucking tried. Because
in the end of the day,
frankly, 2 years ago we didn't really try too hard, from what I saw. So
not at all.
You know what I'm saying? And so we need to now, or it's a wrap. And it's sad. And if you know, if we don't try, then it's your fault. You know, I mean, you let it happen.
Finger points to you.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know.
It really does. And when they repealed 336, all right, there was on whitehouse.gov, the AMA put out this, like, you know, hey, please repeal 336. and it got 17,000 of the needed 100,000 votes. And this is the AMA. They couldn't even generate 17,000 members. And it's got me worried.
Mm-hmm.
But
does anybody know that off the top of their head, what is the AMA membership? What's like the total in America?
I thought it was around 200,000.
About 200K.
That's what I thought, and yeah, I think, unfortunately, they thought they had a better relationship with the FAA than they really do. And it's a letdown because, I support the AMA. I've supported them for eons.
That's the thing that kills me about the AMA is we get pretty much left off the docket in their mind, even though thousands of, hundreds of us support them.
Well, there was during I/O, right? You had the first I/O, which was with Rotor Riot, and I don't want to say that their motives was membership, but it makes me think the motive was membership because they've now done 3 I/Os, and I don't know if anybody's been other than me. They were fabulous. It was fun. Had a great time, but I think they were looking at keeping their membership up and saw FPV community and the racers is, because we were all hoping that the racing was going to go super big. That's yet to be seen. So,
and there's just a long game. But also to one of Enoch's points in the chat, everybody, I mean, the media is certainly a cancer on the national scale, but our local outlets are good venues for us to share the information about the NPRM, to have any kind of chance of getting that out there, at least at the local level. That could be newspapers, that could be news outlets, TV, radio, whatever. But we need to be trying everything we can and just hitting all the avenues that we can, because it is important. Because without it, the hobby's gone. At least as we know it and as we love it. I
am actually, because a lot of guys, we're talking about I/O right now. Like, where the fuck is multi-GP and all this, like, as an organization?
Yeah.
I haven't
because they're going to be hurt. Mm-hmm. And all the businesses. Okay, so like Get FPV, they've got a blog entry. That's it. I'm not seeing anything.
Right.
There need to be videos. There need to be complete outreach. In fact, every single order. Hey, you hear this, all you manufacturers? You need to put in the box a thing on how to comment in every single order to every single, well, whether it's everything RC, so that's a thought.
And I'm just,
certainly.
I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot. I know a few of them made comments and things, and I'll be interested to see, hopefully, like, where, like, Ready Made is an example, where they end up with this and how they, ultimately choose to hopefully fight it. But the reality is there are several, there's several vendors in this, country that, they're all potentially going to, if not go out of business, they're going to definitely suffer highly, right? So I'm just kind of surprised. I don't know why they're not necessarily banding together, as a group of vendors.
Maybe if we can blast this UFDA protest out enough, maybe some of them will get involved and help sponsor, and if nothing else, can throw a couple dollars at it.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, because it's at the end of the day, it's their businesses that are at stake, right? I mean, if they allow this to happen, just as like everyone else, then they can just close up, and then all their
customers, the people that think they're that keep their lights on,
their employees are losing their livelihoods. Like, what the fuck? There's a lot of them, and unless they intend to sell, I don't know, half dozen fucking plastic drones that the fucking FAA approved, that's insane. Like, who do you have? What do you have? Horizon Hobby everywhere? I mean, I don't know what the fuck. Like, what are you gonna have, man? I mean, it's what are you gonna sell?
Sounds like a sad world to me.
And
let's do what we can to fight it.
So
it really is.
I'm surprised. I just feel like that's, from what I'm seeing, like, there's a lot of potential and a lot of energy that could be created by some of these vendors, especially if they were to somehow band together. I know that some of them have, like every part of this hobby there's some division there
tits
too.
And tat.
But but let's be real again. Like, to Artie's point, at the end of the day, we all have to fucking band together, and work together somehow. Otherwise, it's a wrap for all of us. Everybody has the same thing to lose.
Well, I mean, it's cliche, but united we win, divided we fall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully, with what UFDA is doing, and
I mean, go put on a fucking Rage Against the Machine album, come back, and let's band together and get this shit done. Can we please?
right,
Please?
somebody call Rage Against the Machine. I don't know.
Right?
Fuck.
Hey, I may need somebody who's getting a sound job with him.
Oh, no shit.
Cool.
Yeah. Buddy Jared.
But
who works for
is it
Tool
Profits
right
or
now.
Rage?
No, it's Rage Against the Machine's touring right now.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I haven't paid attention.
Boston.
I've been living under a
I'm
rock.
trying to come to Boston for that.
The guy that used to work in the touring music industry like lives under a rock as far as touring music. This I swear to God, bro. I mean, like when it was my life, like I knew all that shit, and like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I was like, fuck. Like now I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm glad I just focus on FPV and fucking shit. Like anyway. We can always deathmatch after we win.
Well, after we lose, hopefully, like the ACLU, civil liberties people come kick in and go, what the hell? This is our airspace and we have a right to be in this airspace. And they're basically forcing us out. And that's not very American. If you ask me, it's just,
no, it's not.
It's the opposite of that.
It's not American. And it's not and it's not what I signed up for, sort of.
It's, I mean,
it's not what I was born into.
And I don't want to pivot us on either side of the gun debate, but it does have a lot of similarities with what's going on with guns in America. And I don't care, regardless of which side you stand on.
But the difference is millions of people stand behind, the Second Amendment.
Sure.
And would voice their opinion.
But the irony is, though,
drones weren't in the Constitution.
Irony,
sadly.
though, is that guns have a proven track record of killing people. I was just gonna put that out there versus what we're doing, which doesn't kill nobody.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like you said, show me the bodies. What the fuck?
That's my point, and I think I don't know where to lean in, but it's things like that I think we should be leaning into because of the fact that look, this is the framework that the government has set out that said, okay, if you want to make rules, these things have to be met so that you can properly make rules,
right? And it doesn't seem like these rules make sense of.
And the only thing that they're relying on is the safety factor. If it has something to do with public safety, that can possibly trump all those things.
I mean, the reality is,
who gives a fuck about science? Who cares about numbers?
That 100% sounds like Department of Homeland Security, who is using every method they can to fucking take away our fucking rights. I'm sorry, we don't need to necessarily go down this road, but I mean, since 9/11, it's been a wrap, and our rights have been eroding rapidly in a lot of regards in the interest of safety. And I think to some degree, this whole situation is, a symptom of a bigger problem, to be honest, in America.
Yeah. And surveillance, Big Brother,
Orwell. This is getting real. This is some major Orwellian shit right here. Like if they clear the airspace and can fucking populate with fucking U.S. aircraft, Air Force drones and shit, which is what there was a ruling. I put it in the group, Brad. The one about it was like 2 years ago.
I remember. I saw it.
We're gonna fucking put drones over U.S. airspace and like what the fuck?
Like the Soylent Green out.
And. I don't know, man. And I've just been seeing like the way that they put it on the stream of the FAA stream when they're calling everybody, if you don't abide by these rules, you're fucking careless or a criminal. And in the same voice, I'm seeing, media labeling, the gun people, like the Second Amendment protesters, labeling them terrorists. And it's frightening to me when I see these things. I'm like, holy shit. Like, people standing up for themselves in this country are
God forbid they use their
terrorists. Yeah, and I understand.
Well, we're guilty until proven innocent, and that's just not the America that I know. We're guilty. We're all, the drones.
That's always for flying been the America I know, unfortunately.
A lot of ways, yeah, man, and especially if you're a different race, get the fuck out of here. Like, if you're a different race, if you weren't a white American, you were fucked. And you still are fucked in some regards, but at least you're not as fucked because, we're trying, the people are trying. But I mean, dude, especially as far as our police state against African Americans, for example, it's still a disaster. So let's be real. And I agree with you, Artie. It has been for many people, it's ever since I've been born, You know, like I told you, my father got harassed over something, and it was unbelievable. You know, so I don't know, man. I think, like I said, I think this is a symptom. Unfortunately, we're not a large group, globally speaking, you know, the FPV community, but we're seeing a symptom of an overall bigger problem. I think everybody should be thinking about.
Lovely.
There are literally dozens of us.
Yeah. Now, I need to go partake, guys.
Just a little stressed out. I barely had to talk. You guys ran this conversation so well. I got so much. I think a lot of good information was spoken. A lot of good point of views.
Yeah, I think we're at almost 2 hours. So, Brad, I would just want to, you know, give you the opportunity to basically wrap us up, dude. I think we're going to skip videos tonight because like I said, it's almost 2 hours already. So we will go crazy with videos next week, and we'll make sure everybody has details on that BQE giveaway starting tomorrow, and we'll hammer it next week as well. And then again, 2 weeks from tonight, we will be doing that giveaway. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And yeah, Brad.
Yeah, hey, I'm looking right now on the comments, and we do have it. Okay, where to submit your comments. So it's in the notes. So there's really, watch Bruce Simpson, XJet, watch the flight test. What do they call it? Community something or other. Sorry, I don't remember his place, but there's probably, it's in
flight
there.
Test community. There's a link to it. Yep.
Yep. And watch those, and then we'll have soon we'll have more actual talking points. And the key is please just submit something and just say, hey, I've been doing this for, you know, even the people who have, you know, there's, you know, a lot of people talking about depression and how FPV has really helped them find community and give them purpose and help them out of tough times. I think that's the kind of stuff you have to make it heartfelt and say, you know, what you're planning is basically going to take away something that I love. And I'm an American, and this is my airspace, as well as yours. You know, the FAA, you know, certainly has the controlling authority, but, and I have to respect that. And I will respect that, but I don't like it. And I think we have to let them know that. So please make the comment. If anything, you know, you might want to go and fly your drones regardless, but Brad's not going to be able to do it anymore. I'm not going to be able to go on the FPV adventures that I'm just so fond of, and meeting all you people out there. And so I implore you to do that and follow through. It takes a little bit of time. Reach out to me. I'm on all the, you see this little scrolly thing here. Where's my finger? I'm still learning how to do this. There.
We'll learn you, boy.
That's right. This scrolling thing.
at b.radfpv on Instagram.
Yeah,
that's
right.
FPV on YouTube. Check him out. Subscribe
all those
to
places.
He's one of the greatest people I've met in this hobby, man. He's an awesome guy, and he's a fucking ripper, dude.
Absolute
this guy can shred.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, man.
So, but PM me. You know, hey, PM me. Reach out to me. I'll be happy to. You know, and if you need me on your show, let me know. I thank you for joining us tonight, and hopefully you found this informative, and let's try to save the hobby. Reach out to the UFDA crew. See you in February.
Word. Thank you.
29th in Washington,
D.C.
FAA headquarters, guys. Be there or be square.
That's it.
And I'm out.
That's a wrap, man.
All right, y'all. We love y'all. Thank you for joining us. We will
coming, everyone.
Continue to keep you updated as information comes in the coming weeks regarding the protests, what UFDA is up to, what we're up to, anything we come up with in our brainstorms that we might find helpful. Just stay tuned, guys. We will be back next week at 10 p.m. EST. We love you. Thank you. Peace.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for being here, brother.
Oh, where's that shit? There it is.
What?
Sword of Omens, give me sight beyond sight.